Today we are going to use this Soul Tree card deck to get a request from Spirit in terms of what Spirit would like you to focus on at the time you find this reading. And then we're going to use the Muse Tarot deck to get advice from Spirit around, around this request. I hope that makes sense. So we'll start here by getting the request from Spirit. One card, please, for the viewer at the time they find this video. What would you like them to be focusing on? I think another way of putting this is like almost what is like the big domino, so to speak, where if you focused on this and brought some resolution or remedy or movement, it would make a big difference. Okay, it came out here. Ooh, emerging. Oh my God, look how beautiful that card is. Wow. So pretty. Emerging. Wow, that is so interesting because I was just looking at, there's a visual artist. I believe her name is Chanel Joy. I'll put her website in the description box of this video. She's relatively new to me. I've been following her for a couple months, and she, at the time of recording this, she is releasing a new series tomorrow, and I'm on her newsletter list, so I got to see the preview early. And she's a visual artist that uses all natural material. So she like makes pigments out of rock and things of that nature. And her series is called Delicate Dance, and it's really about the transformation process. And there was one of the pieces that was called Emerging, and it was one of the pieces I was incredibly struck by, and it almost looks a bit like this. Let me quickly find it on my phone and I'm going to show you. Okay, so let's see if I can get this so you can see it. So this is her new collection called The Delicate Dance. It says, exploring the complex relationship of vulnerability and growth, the delicate dance between embracing discomfort and reaping the rewards of our own resilience. Isn't that beautiful? Now look at this piece right here. Oh, it's called Emerge. Okay, there it is. Isn't it gorgeous? Oh my God, I think it's so gorgeous. But take a peek. Look at, isn't it like the same thing? That's wild, right? Oh my gosh, I'm like a little blown away. Wow. I'm at a bit of a loss of word. Look at how similar the shape and the essence is. I'm at a loss of words. Okay, wow. Okay, so I need to take a breath here. So clearly this reading, in terms of the request, the theme of the reading is on emerging out. I shouldn't say out, but maybe that's what came through. So it's like, it's on emergence. So I'm wondering if you have spent some time in sort of hermit mode, and I'm sensing probably in a good way, like sacred solitude, sacred boundaries sort of way. And there's a like an emergence ready to take place. And so we're going to get some advice from Spirit on that. But as I say that, I think we should come back also to the essence of this entire series that Chanel has released, because I feel like there's something here with that too. So once again, it's called The Delicate Dance. She says, exploring the complex relationship of vulnerability and growth, the delicate dance between embracing discomfort and reaping the rewards of our own resilience. So I feel like there's something with that here, especially that last sentence, the delicate dance between embracing discomfort and reaping the rewards of our own resilience. So let's see what comes out in the tarot in terms of advice. Wow. Thank you so much for tuning in. These readings are just always such a joy. I never know what's going to happen. They're all so different. And did anything else come out? I don't think so. So I never know what's going to happen. They're all so different, and they're just like, I mean, I'm just often blown away, as I am right now, about just the synchronicities. So I appreciate you tuning in. Because I do these readings, and they just are really just so fun. So with that being said, I read reversals intuitively, and I'm getting the sense here that Justice came out too. Okay. I'm getting the sense that they were all reversed. I'm actually getting the sense that they're all upright. So once again, I read reversals intuitively. In essence, I get just kind of like, typically a story with the cards comes out to help me understand if the reversals are relevant. I also just kind of usually get some sort of sense of my like solar plexus, my belly, when the spread kind of lands, so to speak, as it is supposed to be interpreted. So to me, what this feels like is definitely that the reversals, or that the cards are all upright. So the words are coming out slowly because I'm like a little blown away again and drawn to these two cards now. So the emerging card again, and then the Fool. They have similar colors and a similar essence, isn't it? Like this pulling forward sort of essence, which makes sense because the Fool is the first card in the major arcana of the tarot. It's card 0. It is essentially starting fresh, starting out on your call to adventure. Oh my gosh, you didn't see this, but when I put the soul tree card deck down, at the bottom of the deck was adventure. Look at that. Wow. Okay. Oh, the synchronicities abound. I just love it. So let me take a breath here and see what advice Spirit would like to speak through. Okay. So the advice seems pretty straightforward and cohesive. And it really is interesting here. I mean, there's definitely new beginning vibes everywhere. So not only does the emerging card come out, but then we get the Ace of Inspiration and the Fool. So as I've already talked about, the Fool is this, somebody hearing the call to adventure and moving towards it. It's a complete new beginning card. It's the start of the hero or the heroine's journey. And the Ace of Inspiration, all aces have a sort of new beginning essence to a certain extent. The Ace of Inspiration in a standard deck would be the Ace of Wands. And Wands is it's like inspiration energy as it's depicted in this Muse Tarot, and as you can see in the imagery here. And the aces in the tarot, it's not just inspiration energy though. It's like passion, and it's fire, and it's creativity, and it's the flow that gets things to move forward. Do you know what I mean? And again, I think it's just so beautifully depicted in this particular depiction of it. The aces are always essentially like gifts from the universe. They're like gifts of potential. And again, I love how it's depicted here because it's like she's receiving and then integrating this gift from the universe. And so there's something here about a willingness to receive new insights and ideas. And that's going to allow you to emerge more. Maybe it's from a season of hermiting, or it might just be like emerge more on your path, emerge more in the ways that you're wanting to, in the ways you're wanting to be seen, in the ways you're wanting to be known. There's definitely an essence here of a willingness to receive what's wanting to be offered to you. So with that being said, I will share some mantras I use in my life when I am, in similar seasons or working with similar energy. And it's simply but powerfully, so I often think of spirit as, or call spirit Mother God or Mama God. And so I'll say, whether I'm in the shower or the car, whether it's in my head or out loud, I'll say, Mama God, I'm willing to receive more of your ideas today. Mama God, I'm willing to receive more of your blessings today. Mama God, Mother God, I'm willing to receive more of your insights today. Mother God, I'm willing to receive more of your protection today. So there's like just this like willingness to receive that which is of the emergent path. It's a weird way to say it. It's like what wanted to come out though. Like, and I'm almost getting that essence here. Like, so she's like on the emergent path, right? And she's being drawn and pulled towards that like bright light, right? So it's like almost a different way of depicting the same thing to a certain extent, of like a willingness to receive that which is on the emergent path, is like what's coming to me. I've never said that statement in my life, but I sort of like it. Like, I'm willing to receive that which is on my path of emergence. Because also in that statement, you're like, I am willing to emerge more and more. I'm willing to bloom more and more. I'm willing to receive that which is on my path of emergence. I'm willing to receive what's on my emergent path. So as I'm saying all that, there is a guided meditation I have on this channel, and it keeps coming to mind as all this is coming through. And it is, I've labeled it something like advice from your future self, or something like that, or like tap into your higher self. Honestly, I can't remember, but I will find it. I will link it up in the description box of this video. I think it's like 20 minutes. And I'm getting the sense it might be a really helpful meditation for you to do in this season, but it also might be helpful for you to do like on a consistent basis, or something along the lines where you're developing a practice of getting information from your emergent path. I'm just laughing because I just like have never said that before. I've like never said the statement before, but it just keeps coming to me, so I'm just going to keep saying it. So getting information from your emergent path seems to be like the main message here. And I think, again, one practice is like just affirmations along those lines. And I think if there's other practices you can develop, like potentially that meditation I mentioned, or other things where you're tapping in to ideas and insights that are in alignment with this emergence that's wanting to happen, this beautiful blooming, this breakthrough, this new beginnings, this resurrection sort of energy. I think that could be really helpful. And part of the reason I say that is because we have the eight of materials, which is the Eight of Pentacles in the standard deck, at the bottom of this deck. Okay. And I love the Eight of Pentacles card in essence. And I absolutely love this depiction of it. In essence, what I typically feel from the Eight of Pentacles, and it's definitely something I'm getting here for you, is just this idea of consistency. You know, so Eight of Pentacles can be like, just like consistent, diligent effort. It's like the beauty of hard work. So not toxically working hard, but like the idea that for anything of value to be birthed and built and sustained, there's tending and there's effort to a certain extent, right? And that doesn't mean we have to work ourselves to exhaustion, but just like this gentle and consistent tending, this gentle and consistent effort. And I often think of the Eight of Pentacles as like this like compounding card, where it's almost like a snowball rolling down a hill, where it starts off small, but eventually it can gain a lot of momentum and do things quickly. And so there's definitely that sort of essence here. I think that is definitely in terms of whatever you're wanting to manifest. So if you're wanting to, like, if there's something with your career path or your creativity path and you're just like putting things out there one step at a time. But if it's something else, even like relationships, where you're just like changing, like let's say you are wanting to improve your relationship with your intimate partner, right? And maybe there's a lot to clean up, but maybe there's just like this consistency with the effort that you're putting in, that over time, the dynamics shift to more health and more joy and more ease. So regardless of the topic, whether it's like you're just emerging as yourself in relationships, or you're emerging with your creative work, regardless of the topic, it's the advice, and when I say topic, the topic is emerging, but I mean the specifics of where you're feeling you're ready to emerge, where you're feeling you're desiring to emerge in your life. Regardless of that, the advice is definitely the more you can be willing to get insights from like your emergent path. So not insights from your past self, so to speak. It's insights from the self the version of you that knows how to get what she wants, right? The more you can be willing to receive insights on that path, the more, of course, those insights will drop. And those insights, baby step by baby step, will lead to actions. And baby step by baby steps, those actions and those efforts, whether seemingly small or seemingly large, the consistency over time will begin to compound, building more and more towards what you want. And as I'm saying that, I'm thinking of the quote, and I don't know who to credit to, so my apologies, but it's consistency over intensity. And that is definitely, often in essence I get with the Eight of Pentacles, because part of the Eight of Pentacles, that the essence that I often get is like craftsmanship, artisan, craftswomanship. So like just like being really good at your craft, right? And I think what is required of any of us to do that is just consistent effort over time. You know what I mean? Like, the more I'm living life, the more I'm healing, the more I'm maturing, the more I'm realizing that life is ultimately pretty simple. Do you know what I mean? Like it just, consistent effort over time equals being better at your craft. And we all want like different shortcuts, and we want different hacks to life. And I just don't think they're real. I think if anything is real and enduring and is not hurting others in the process, it usually is then based on just the simple principles of life, which is, again, consistency over time equals being good at your craft, emerging, being seen and known. It means having a solid base. Consistency over time, consistency over intensity is really it is what would create what anybody who didn't know better would call a overnight breakthrough, right? But really, it's just that compounding effect happening. It's consistency for so long that maybe other people haven't seen. And so even if this isn't a like creativity or career reading for you, I just think whatever, again, even if it's your health, relationships, I just think there's just this like consistent effort over time, led by inspired action, inspired insights from your emerging path, from your path of emergence. I think that seems to be key. And I just have to tell you, there's so much beauty here that I'm feeling. I mean, I'm certainly seeing it in the cards. Like, I'm really enjoying just looking at this imagery. I mean, especially because we started with this one looking so similar to that piece of art. I'm still just blown away. But more than that, more than the imagery, more than the synchronicity, there is just this energetic feeling I'm getting. It's very uplifting. It's incredibly hopeful. It's incredibly robust. And there's even like diversity to it, where it feels like you're not trying to essentially create like a monoculture in your life, or you're moving away from that. So how did I just jump to farming or agriculture? I'll try to explain here. I'm getting just like this ecosystem essence, this mosaic essence, this, like I said, this diversity essence, where you are more and more becoming a person who's expanding their horizons, expanding and broadening your visions and insights, expanding maybe your creative ecosystem. So there isn't so much like fixation or trying to change things and really like the word that's coming through is neurotic, and I don't mean to call you neurotic, but hopefully you understand what I mean. Like just that narrowing of our path. I feel you like broadening things, but you're also getting more skilled. So you're like, it's like kind of this paradox of your skills are becoming more specific and you're becoming more honed at them, right? But overall, as a general person, you are growing in your maturity and then therefore your wisdom and security, because you are like allowing the mosaic of your life to be more mosaic-y. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like I believe life is supposed to be like that, like a mosaic, an ecosystem, I always think the broader we can expand our vision, the healthier we become, right? And so that's part of like this willingness. I'm willing to expand my vision. I'm willing to not have such precise opinions and perspectives that maybe are holding me back, but I'm willing to see from a broader perspective the inspiration. But so if you agree with me that that is where healthy, joyful, sustainable living happens, is when we're thinking in that more like mosaic place. But if we are at a season or in seasons of our life where we don't know that, right? So we have like maybe like, let's think of like an actual art piece, a mosaic, and let's say there's different glass pieces or something, right? And so let's say we're like fixating on just one. So like metaphorically, just like one or two glass pieces are like super bright and the rest are like blank or something. Do you see how there's something that has to be corrected in that for balance to happen? But more and more as we're letting the other pieces light up, the mosaic becomes easier to see as what it wants to be, right? And it becomes more beautiful and robust and ultimately more valuable and stronger. And that's really the essence I'm getting here. You clearly are somebody that has, the collective that's intended for this reading, you are people who have done a lot of healing work, a lot of personal growth work, a lot of opening and releasing, right? So like opening to bigger perspectives. And then as we open to those bigger perspectives, we inevitably have to release what maybe our past self believed or thought that it doesn't align with the new perspective and the new insights and the new emerging path. You know what I mean? And so all of that takes so much effort and so much healing work, so much inner work. And so there's definitely an acknowledgement that wants to happen in this reading of all the healing work and the inner work that you have done. I think you have so much to be proud of. And I think there is which is often what happens in my reading is there's like both an acknowledgement and an invitation, right? So the acknowledgement is all this work you've already done. And the invitation is, number one, like keep doing it, it's working. And also something is shifting a bit, where there's going to be more of, instead of just going inward, right, or only going inward, it's like you're going to begin to more and more emerge. And I think I heard it said once on Instagram, I might not say this quote correctly, and I don't know who to credit to, but it was something along the lines of like, part of the healing journey is like entering out of the healing journey. Do you know what I mean? So like, in other words, like part of the healing journey is also emerging from the healing journey, right? Part of the healing journey is putting into actual tangible, Eight of Pentacles, tangible practice, effort, but not in the toxic way, just in the beautiful way of like inspired action, putting that into practice, right? Grounding it into your daily life as a human. And so I think I'm loving so much of this reading, but as I spoke that last part out, I think I'm loving that the Eight of Pentacles is really a huge part of it being at the bottom of the deck, because there is, Pentacles energy is, the way I interpret it is the energy of how we're getting our physical needs met as humans. So it's like the tangible aspects of humaning, like how is that going? And what do we need to do that better? And more, I'm coming to terms with the healthier we can figure out how to get our physical needs met in ourselves and then in our intimate communities and then in our communities at large, the more, I think, spiritual I'm realizing that journey is. And I'm getting that sort of paradoxical energy here because I'm sensing you've spent a lot of time working on the inner work, the healing, the spiritual work. And Spirit is definitely not saying stop doing that, because we've got the Eight of Inspiration as advice. So that's a pretty intangible card, right? I mean, like she's receiving inspiration through her third eye from seemingly nowhere, right? From Mama God, we could say. So that's still very intangible energy. But then bottom of the deck, we have that tangible Eight of Pentacles energy, that tangible, like grounded consistency energy. And I think this is an invitation to ground the beauty that you have cultivated it with all of your healing and inner work. So Wow, what a cool reading. Thank you so much for tuning in. I enjoy reading for this collective so much, and this reading was just like a little extra treat with all of this beauty and the synchronicity.